This is the Global Economic Commodities, Scrap Metal, and Recycling Report by our Bentley Roll-Off Trailer and Open Top Trailer, October 5th, 2020. U.S. weekly crude steel production rose to 1.446 million tons, a multi-month high as slow economic growth continues. Crude oil price fell to $37.05 a barrel, the lowest in months as demand remains depressed and on concern about slowing U.S. growth. The U.S. oil weekly rig count rose to 189, a multi-month high, but still down a staggering 88.3% from the 2014 high. Low demand is keeping production low to raise prices. U.S. weekly oil production was steady at 10.7 million barrels a day, near a 2+ year low as low prices bring low production. The U.S. has less oil exports, which is bad for the U.S., but good for OPEC. Scrap steel number one heavy melt export buying price Philly fell to $225 gross ton, still near the multi-month high as supply and demand are balancing. Scrap steel number one heavy melt price was steady at $245 a gross ton, near the multi-month high as supply is catching up with demand. There is limited upward price pressure, with prime seeing just some upward pressure. Hot rolled coil steel rose to $30.99 per hundredweight, a 16-month high on tight supplies and small demand increases. Copper price was steady at $2.98 a pound, off the multi-year high on slow growth but nervous markets. Aluminum price rose to 78.2 cents a pound, near the multi-month high on the same slow growth and nervous markets. U.S. second quarter GDP fell a staggering 31.4%, but less than the negative 31.7% estimate. Yet it's still the largest contraction in American history. The good news is that Q3 will be the largest growth in history, but the estimate for the year is negative 3.7. August's U.S. trade deficit from manufactured goods widened, as in it was worse, to negative $82.94 billion, the worst in American history. Consumer goods and autos had their biggest increase. The result of years of better trade deals is we have worse, not better trade deficits. September's new jobs were a great 661,000 jobs created, but gains are slowing. Total employment is still down 10.7 million from February pre-COVID. Recent COVID increases are slowing economic growth. September's U.S. unemployment rate fell to 7.9%, but strangely, the government at the very bottom of the release on the report says unemployment is really 0.4% higher, so it's 8.3%. The good news is that it fell, but it's still over 8%. Note that this does not include the massive layoffs that were announced by the airlines and Disney last week. September's U.S. workforce fell to 160.14 million, the level of 4.5 years ago. Major growth is still needed to repair the economy. September's U.S. consumer confidence was revised higher to 80.4, the best since March, which is great news. Americans are more optimistic about the economy, but remain concerned about the election and vaccine widespread availability. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 509 points to 27,683 after 4 down weeks. Markets are nervous about President Trump's hospitalization. The new $2+ trillion stimulus plan is stuck in Congress, but it's still possible. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions. I hope all have a safe and profitable week.